The distress beacon pierced through subspace like a dying star's final scream. On the mining station orbiting Kepler 442b, Commander Zixthar's three eyes widened in horror as the sensor arrays painted a nightmare across his screens. The Kralik swarm had found them. "All stations, this is Commander Zixthar," his translator device rendered his chittering panic into galactic standard. "We are under attack by Kralik's forces, requesting immediate evacuation assistance. We have civilians, 347 souls." The response came in fragments: static, denial, apologies. Every civilized species in the sector was too far, too scared, or too smart to engage the swarm. The Kraliks were unstoppable, a hive-minded plague that consumed everything in their path. Once they locked onto a target, retreat was the only option for survival. Zixthar's heart sank as he watched the swarm ships materialize from jump points, thousands of biomechanical horrors that looked like fusion between insect and machine. His station had perhaps 40 minutes before the shields failed. Then came a response that made no sense. "Mining Station Kepler 442b, this is UTDF Destroyer Valkyrie. We copy your distress. Hold position. Cavalry inbound. ETA 12 minutes. UTDF? Zixthar's translator struggled with the acronym. United Terran Defense Force. But Earth is 3 sectors away. You cannot possibly... Commander, respectfully, shut up and prep your civilians for evac. Valkyrie out. Zixthar had heard rumors about the Terrans, the species from the Death World that somehow survived everything their planet threw at them. Crushing gravity, toxic atmosphere ratios, predators at every level of their food chain. They called their world Earth, a name that translated roughly to dirt in most languages, as if they were too stubborn to name it anything grandiose. But rumors were one thing. This was suicide. James Chen stood on the bridge of the Valkyrie, his hands steady despite the tactical nightmare displayed before him. His executive officer, Elsa Kuznetsova, stood beside him, her ice-blue eyes calculating trajectories and probabilities with the cold precision that had earned her the nickname, the Glacier. "Captain, we're outnumbered 47-1, Elsa said, her Russian accent clipping each word with military efficiency. "Conventional tactics suggest..." "Conventional tactics can go to hell," James interrupted with a wolfish grin. "When have humans ever done conventional?" Elsa's lips twitched into the ghost of a smile. "Tactical plan? The Johannesburg Gambit, but meaner. Sir, that maneuver is theoretical. We've never field-tested. Then today's a good day to try new things." James turned to his crew. "All hands, battle stations, someone wake up the Marines. Tell Sergeant Rodriguez we're about to do something phenomenally stupid." "He'll be thrilled, sir," Elsa replied dryly. The Valkyrie dropped out of jump space like a vengeful god, immediately launching every missile in its forward battery. The Kralik swarm reacted with the predictable efficiency of a hive mind, diverting ships to intercept. That's when James proved why Deathworlders earned their reputation. "Elsa, execute Crazy Ivan. Full power!" The destroyer spun on its axis with acceleration that would have liquefied any other species. Only humans, evolved under Earth's crushing gravity, could withstand the G-forces. The Valkyrie fired its main railgun straight through the gap created by the missile distraction, the tungsten rod traveling at a fraction of light speed. 12 Kralik's ships simply ceased to exist. "Phase 2, James ordered. "Give them the welcome package." From the Valkyrie's belly, dozens of pods launched toward the mining station. But these weren't evacuation pods. They were drop pods containing 200 United Terran Marines, each one a product of Earth's evolutionary crucible. On the mining station, Zixthar watched in disbelief as the pods impacted with enough force to dent reinforced hull plating. The hatches blew open, and out stepped creatures that made his survival instincts scream. Humans, in combat armor, carrying weapons that looked like they were designed by someone who hated physics. Sergeant Maria Rodriguez grinned inside her helmet as she mag-locked to the station's hull, her squad forming up around her. The Kralix had breached the lower decks, and intel showed 30 enemy combatants between her position and the civilian shelter. "All right, jarheads," she transmitted. "Remember, these bug bastards think they're the apex predators. Let's remind them what happens when you poke a Deathworlder." The Marines moved like wolves, coordinated, ruthless, efficient. Where the Kralix expected prey, they found Earth's finest, doing what humans did best, refusing to die and taking everyone else with them. Rodriguez kicked in a bulkhead door and fired her rifle in one smooth motion. The plasma round punched through a Kralix warrior's carapace like tissue paper. "Knock, knock, uglies!" The aliens inside the mining station watched in awe as humans, these impossible creatures from the death world, fought with a savagery that made the Kralix look tame by comparison. But it wasn't mindless violence. It was calculated, precise, and devastatingly effective. Aboard the Valkyrie, Elsa monitored the tactical situation with the calm of someone playing chess. "Captain, the Kralix are adapting. They're pulling back to reform. How long until their reinforcements arrive?" 4 minutes, James nodded. "Plenty of time. Helm, bring us about. Target their command ship." "Sir, that's in the center of their formation." "I know where it is, Lieutenant." The Valkyrie dove into the swarm like a shark into a school of fish. Human reflexes, evolved to track prey and dodge predators, made them unnaturally good pilots. The destroyer twisted through space, its point defense systems creating a sphere of death around it. Elsa called out targets with machine-like precision. "Mark 47, 12 degrees port. Mark 16, ventral approach. Overlapping fields of fire in Sector 3. Recommend plasma burst." "Executing." James's hands danced across the controls. The Valkyrie was an extension of his will, and he wielded it like a surgeon's scalpel. The Kralix command ship exploded in a brilliant flash, and suddenly the swarm lost its coordination. Individual ships scattered, their hive mind severed. "Marines, this is Valkyrie," James transmitted. "Packages wrapped and ready for pickup. Bug out in 3 minutes." Rodriguez's voice came back breathless but triumphant. "Copy that, Valkyrie. Civilians are secure. We're Oscar Mike." 20 minutes later, Commander Zixthar stood in the Valkyrie's hangar bay, watching as human Marines efficiently processed the rescued civilians. These creatures, these impossible Deathworlders, had done what every military analyst said was impossible. Captain James Chen approached, removing his command cap. "Commander Zixthar, your people are safe. We'll escort you to the nearest Federation station." "Captain, I don't understand. Your species. You came through a Deathworld's evolution. You should be too aggressive, too irrational to function in civilized space, yet you saved us." James glanced at Elsa, who stood nearby, her expression unreadable. Then he smiled, a very human expression that somehow conveyed both danger and warmth. "Commander, we came from a world that tried to kill us every single day. We learned to be stubborn. We learned to be clever. And most importantly, we learned that the only way to survive is to help each other survive." He extended his hand. "That's what makes us human." Zixthar reached out with his primary manipulator, grasping the human's hand. "Then thank the stars that humans exist, Captain Chen. Thank the stars." As the Valkyrie jumped back into the void, carrying its rescued cargo, a new message spread through subspace channels. "When you call for help, and no one answers, wait for the humans. The Deathworlders always answer. End."